What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XLM, Stellar Lumens, yet again today. It is the 31st and final day of May, and here we are sitting at roughly 26 cents, just under there, 25.7 cents with 10 hours left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it, okay? Let's carry on with the show. XLM has seen a massive pop over the past week. That pop came to a fantastic finish here this weekend on Saturday, yesterday. And I do believe that we are going to see, I do believe this is the end of it. I do believe that's the high, and I do believe we go lower. That's my belief. Now, before we get further into the analysis, let's be frank here, okay? We could see the price go higher. We could see it go higher. My belief is that this is the high, but we could see it go higher. It's possible. We're in a situation right now where it's too early to call this the high. If we go down from here, I'm going to be like, yeah, I expected that to be the high. And if we go up here, I'll say, yeah, I'm wrong, but who cares? It's really like, it's not going to be that big of a deal. If we go up higher, we're not going to see more of this. It's going to be just a little bit. It'll be a trap. It'll be FOMO inflicting, and then we'll move down. Likely, if we move any higher at all, it'll be a lower high, a double top, or a slightly higher high, a bull trap, whatever you want to call it, a fake out, and then we'll move lower. My assumption is this is the high. My assumption is most of this move has been had. And if I'm wrong from point A to point B, oh well, whatever. I don't care. Let's get into the short-term stuff. I do believe XLM is not only going to come down from here, but it's going to see lower lows from here in time. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame, and then we'll zoom back out, okay? 1 hour time frame here. People ask what that noise is. That's just the shower. The wall here is right on the other side of the master bathroom, which is fun. Good stuff. 25.7 cents right now, 5 hours left in the day. We look at this here from a relative high to a relative low. You moved up with a lot of volume. A lot of volume. The largest candle for volume was here on this red candle. The largest candle for volume was here. Actually, I'm sorry. It was on this red candle. But still, those two candles had some of the largest volume throughout this, both those red candles there. And you've had no volume at all down here. So, of course, you're going to retrace, you're going to make another test up, but where's the volume? There's no volume. Now, we could rationalize this by saying it's the weekend. However, this move here happened on the weekend. So, the little tip for tat there in rationality. Looking at this, what we've done is from a high to a low, we have found resistance right at the golden ratio. You've found support at the 0.5, came back up to the golden ratio, rejected it, and now you're back down. Typically, this suggests that we go lower. Once you get below the 236, at that point, I will start to confidently call this the high. I'm pretty confident that it's the high now. Maybe I should say I'll have more validation, validation. There's another word for that. Confirmation that this is the high. Once we get below the 236, that level is at about 25. Let's see, what is that level? 25.37 cents. 25.37 cents. We get below there on a 4 hour closing basis. Let's say 2 4 hour candles in a row, or a daily closing basis. At that point, I believe not only was this the high, this was a lower high, and you are going lower. At that point, we will start to consider the extension targets here from a low to a high, something between 21 cents to 19.6 cents. Isn't that a perfect area to find support? Because right here, we take that, we translate that, you put a horizontal line at the top of that box, a horizontal line at the bottom of that box. Look, it's at these points of resistance and support back here. It's perfect. So yes, that would probably be your next stop down. Now, you moved up rather aggressively. I assume you're going to move down rather aggressively, but that doesn't mean we're just going down like this. Okay, you had stopping points. We're probably going to have stopping points on the way down too. That's probably how it's going to work. Still aggressive, but not a straight line. 1 hour time frame here, rejecting the overbought zone. You weren't rejecting it before. Bad. No volume on the move up. You had volume before. Bad. Rejecting the golden ratio zone. Bad. Stochastics are overbought. Come back down. You've reset yourself. MACD, you had a little bit of bullish divergence. That's nice. You did a little bit of a move here. That's nice. But still, you're kind of in this turbulent area where things might get sour. If you cross these oscillators down and you start to get below the zero, that would be bad. 4 hour time frame. It's just the 1 hour, though. The 1 hour being bad can switch to good in a matter of a day. 24 candles later is a day. 48 candles later is 2 days. You know what I mean? Like it takes a day or three and that 1 hour chart can look completely different. So it looks bad. It has bearish premonitions now. That can change in a few days. Again, I'm under the belief this is the high. Who knows? Maybe we handle this drop well. We get a higher high, a higher low, and we really start to form something that does send us higher. The 1 hour can change in a couple of days. Let's see how we do. 25.6 cents. We've only been dropping since this video started. Looking at the 4 hour time frame, you're rejecting the overbought area. You're not really there. You're not rejecting the overbought zone per se. Whenever you did last time, that was a cause for a little bit of a drop. You know, relative to this move, it's not that big of a drop, but relative to this move, you basically gave back all those gains that you had, that 3% pump there, you gave it all back. Rejecting this here, I would think that same kind of idea, you might give back all these gains that you just saw, that 14% move in the last 4 hours. You know, yesterday I was calling for a move like this that would give us probably a lower high, maybe a tit for tat double top, maybe even a slightly higher high. But this was, you know, we were at this level here. I did say that we'd probably see prices that are a little bit above where we are now. This could very well be the top. This could very well the secondary top, the lower high, because of where we are, right? From a high to a low, golden ratio, it's perfect. It's pretty damn perfect. This is confirmed as a lower high when we get below the 236, which again is at, it's kind of funny, 236 is the fib. It's at $0.236, 2369, so 237. Still kind of serendipitous there. Looking at the 4 hour RSI, certainly taking on, I mean, it's bullish overall, right? You've got this higher low structure. Let's just see here. Let's make sense out of this. Higher lows here, kind of sloppy, kind of sloppy. Maybe it's these higher lows here, something like that. A little bit less sloppy. Let's take this one because there's more significance, right? You're showing a little bit more respect. Touched it, bounced. Touched it, bounced. Touched it, bounced. Came back down, touched it again, bounced. Now you're coming back down. It's a little bit of a weaker reaction compared to what you saw the last two times. Different behavior perhaps begets a different result, right? That's the expectation, at least on my behalf. The 4 hour stochastics, they also have this kind of higher low trend. I mean, overall, your RSI and your stochastics do have bullish implications. You're just in a really interesting area to find resistance. It depends, you know, I mean, maybe by the end of this video, maybe by the end of this day, you'll be moving up higher. If you can move above the golden ratio, if you can close above 26.57 cents on a 4 hour basis, maybe you do go to 28 cents, 28.8 cents. Maybe you do. Maybe you do go to 32 cents, 36 cents. I doubt we get above 36 cents. That'd be the highest I'd give us, but sure, maybe you go to this area. If I'm wrong and this isn't the high and this is the high, boo-hoo, still the reckoning's going to come. Might be wrong for a day or two. The coming week, you know, I'll be bearish here, I'll be bearish here, I'll be bearish here. Already missed the big move, right? Bearish throughout all this. The next big move is to the downside. Don't get mistaken. Okay. And if I'm gloriously wrong, well, that'll be fun to watch, won't it? The comments will be the most fun to watch. The stochastics, to me, are taking on a little bit of a bearish shape. It is bullish overall, though. The MACD is bullish overall as well. You were dying, you were killing off this bearish momentum, but here you're on the brink of building it back. Let's just see how this 4 hour candle closes. I think if this 4 hour candle closes and you're building bearish momentum like this, you're getting a deep red color instead of a pale red color. That could imply that you're moving down as well. Even if it's not this candle, if it's the next candle that you get a deep red before crossing back green, that can definitely have bearish implications. Let me see if I can find an example. You know, like this. Right here, you flipped red and you didn't flip red again. You got the pale red and then you flipped green. That was bullish overall. You went on a nice run. Here you flipped red, you were pale, then you built again and you got lower levels there. That was bearish. You went lower overall as time went on, right? So just something to think about there. If we look at the daily time frame now, daily RSI, potentially bouncing off the oversold zone. Now that's a special thing to do. When I say special, I mean it doesn't happen often. It does happen. You've done it before. That one time, kind of, right there. It doesn't seem to happen. Oh, there you go. You did it again here, but that was to no avail. That didn't. What did that provide? you had like a slightly lower high, right? With the exact circumstances we're talking about here. Here you bounced. Right there, you had a little bounce, and let's see. Zoom in a little bit. Right there, you bounced. You had a little bit higher. And you went higher, right? Imagine if I was bearish right here at 35 cents, you went a little bit higher to 41 cents. And then you even still went higher to 42 cents. Yeah, wrong for a time. The move happened inevitably, though. Came back up. The bigger move happened inevitably, though, right? It doesn't have to be pretty. It can be sloppy. And maybe this fortitude here on the RSI is what's going to provide that sloppy decay. It's going to be a little bit sloppy up here. Maybe. I don't care. The main point of the call is not that, hey, this is the high and now we're moving straight down. That's not the call. The call is you've seen the majority of the move. Likely this is the high. I don't care what we do from here. Maybe we drop immediately. Maybe we take our time and dilly-dally and then we drop immediately. Maybe we just shift our way down methodically, however it works. Lower is this is an area to sell, not to buy, is the main point. Okay. And if this day closes green, that RSI looks good. We might move up a little bit tomorrow as well, get another green day, get some bearish divergence here. We'll get a higher high and then get a lower high in the RSI. Bearish divergence to mark the top. A higher high closing doesn't mean a higher high from the wicking perspective. Stochastics are coming back up. The MACD on the daily looks good. It's all bullish on the daily. We're in a bear market overall. This is a lower high overall. You did find resistance from a relative high to relative low here at the, right below the golden ratio. That's actually even more bearish. Maybe it was the overall high, sorry. Yeah, right at the 0.5. I think in a matter of no time at all, we're going to be coming back down to this 236 area. We're going to be finding support at prior resistance right there, somewhere around 18 to 17 cents. And as time goes on, we will work our way below these lows. I don't really have anything else that I want to say. I'm probably just going to end it there. Add a point to reject for the week. I mean, if we close here, guys, or even a little bit higher, this is a hell of a rejection point for the weekly RSI. Rejecting that overbought zone is no small signal, that's for damn sure. But I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like button, subscribe, take care. Resistance, prior support. Resistance, prior support, prior resistance. Something to think about, y'all. Take care, bye-bye.